Out of all the watches that Direnzo offers on their website, all of his designs, the DRZ 04 Mondial is my favourite. That's me. In fact, I've got one in my own personal watch box and I've had it for years. And now they've just released the 38mm variant of the same watch in some playful colours. It's a smaller watch, it's a more petite experience on the wrist. I've had this watch on my wrist for the last couple of weeks and I want to share my thoughts and experience throughout the course of this review. So without further ado, let's flip the camera and let's dive in. Now, having a watch that you like and you've actually owned for several years yourself, you might be a little bit biased when it comes to reviewing that same watch but in a smaller dial variant. And for me, I didn't find that to be the case because I've not bonded with this watch. Doesn't mean it's a bad watch. I've bonded with the original. I think it suits my wrist better. This is a slightly smaller watch, coming in at 38mm, a little bit more petite. Maybe I've just been conditioned over the last couple of years of looking at the original variant on my wrist, and trying to get used to this has been a bit of a hill climb for me. And I say that because I'm not trying to love this watch. I'm trying to actually be critical and show you and share with you guys what I've experienced with it, because there are a couple of areas which I did find on this particular model which could offer room for improvement, a couple of small tweaks that might potentially make this watch even a better offering. And I'll share that in my gripes and room for improvement section. Now, you saw the pop-up, Direnzo has sponsored this video, so I'll leave a link in the description section of this video. If you're keen on this watch, by all means feel free to check it out. And looking at Direnzo's website, there are different colour variants available of this model. As I said, there's some fresh new colourways, and there's also some limited edition models that may vary in price as compared to the one I've got on my wrist. And the one that I've got here, this particular green one, has a pre-sale price of 750 Swiss francs. That's 1,440 Australian dollars, thereabouts. Now, the physical dimensions of this watch, I measure a case diameter of 38 and a case height of 10.7. The lug to lug is 46.2, and obviously that bracelet is integrated. The crown is a 6.4mm signed screw-down crown. The watch offers 100 meters of water resistance. And the total weight on the supplied bracelet sized to my 18cm wrist, I measure exactly 128 grams. Now, on the wrist, in my eyes, this watch has been a more petite experience. And I say that because I'm used to the original variant, which is a 40mm. I must say though, for a smaller watch, I've enjoyed its comfort, I've enjoyed the height at 10.8, and that bracelet, which tapers all the way down to 15.7mm at that clasp, has also offered a lot of comfort as well as invoking a very vintage vibe for me. And looking closer at that bracelet, the finishing is lovely, very good articulation. It's got screw pins, and the particular one I have here has a butterfly clasp. However, I do believe there's an option for a folding clasp with the toolless on-the-fly adjustment system. Designed by Notice, but that will be an optional extra. Now, although predominantly I've enjoyed this watch on its bracelet, there's also a couple of rubber straps that were in the box, so I decided to try them on. They're integrated rubber straps, designed and form fitted for this particular watch, and whether the black one or the white one, they seem to wear really well on the wrist. The taper's good, the comfort's good, albeit I'm not 100% convinced of the end link security. It doesn't feel as solid in its execution as compared to the bracelet. I know that's a given, the bracelet is made of steel, however, the lug width where the actual rubber strap attaches to the case is only 14mm. So for me, I didn't feel that it offered that much reassurance to the watch head as I'm used to with a watch that offers a wider lug width and a little bit more stability, if that makes sense, and I'll share more about that. Now, if I turn the watch over, you'll notice there's an exhibition case back. And through that sapphire crystal, the watch is powered by Swiss Solida SW200-1. Obviously hand winding, hacking or stop seconds, and this one has been running superb. Lastly, when I look at the watch in subdued lighting, the lume is Swiss Superluminova, and as with all Direnzo watches I've handled in the past, the application seems to be well done, and for a general sports style watch, I think this is doing an excellent job here. Just like the original, I have no complaints in that department. Now, all that said, I did mention that I'm going to speak about some areas that could offer room for improvement on this watch, and one of them is the strap. I like the strap, I like its integration, the way it wears, but I just feel that the point at which this strap attaches, being only 14mm, it just doesn't feel as secure as I'd like it to feel for a rubber strap. Now, the strap itself is beautiful, it's soft, FKM rubber, lovely. I don't have an issue there, the execution's good. And I did notice that the spring bars on the actual rubber straps, they're standard gauge. They're a standard spring bar, whereas the spring bar on the bracelet, it's thick. It's almost like a fat spring bar from Seiko, very similar in its gauge. I think it would have been nice if I had the same gauge in these. I tried to put these spring bars in here, they don't fit. So these are obviously designed for this. These spring bars are designed for the bracelet. So that's one area which I'm going to be a little bit critical here, because the security of a watch head on your wrist, I'm not fully persuaded and convinced with the rubber straps. Again, that could be just me. Time will tell. Wearing these watches on this, hopefully no one drops one off their wrist, it gets ripped off or something, but just sharing my thoughts so that you guys can know. That's been my observation. Loved it on this, but just didn't feel as secure, if that makes sense. Secondly, I want to make mention of something a little bit different. There's an 800 Vickers hardness coating on the case and bracelet, and that's great, I like that, but why 800? I know that a lot of the watches that I've been getting on the channel there, 1200 Vickers is a standard, so I just want to ask Direnzo or any of you guys, why 800? So if anybody knows, feel free to comment. It would have been nice to have 1200 scratch resistance. I think it's always more is better in this particular case. So that's something that I don't understand myself personally. If anyone has a better answer, even Sergio yourself, I haven't had a chance to ask you. By all means, feel free, leave a couple of words in the comment section of this video. And last gripe for me, and again, this is probably personal, some of you guys share my opinion, I'm not a fan of limited edition watches. There's a couple of variants that are limited edition. I know a lot of brands do it, mainstream micro brands. I've spoken about it before in other videos. My recommendation to people have always been, regardless of what the watch is, always do your homework. Buy something that resonates with you, something that speaks to you on a personal level, because at the end of the day, this is a hobby that's designed to please us individuals as individuals. You're not buying watches to impress others. If you are, I think you're on the wrong mindset, because at the end of the day, you really can't impress anybody else. It's all about yourself and what really makes sense to you. So apart from that, the watch has actually been a delight on the wrist. It has felt a little bit vintage for me because it is a little bit smaller. I'm used to the original variant, so that's been a bit of a hill climb for me to try to visually adapt my eyes to this watch. It's still very wearable and enjoyable, because having an 18cm or 7.1 inch wrist, I think we get accustomed to looking at something on our wrist, and then when something different comes along, it sometimes might throw us off. And that's probably been the case here, but I suspect smaller wrists are actually going to love this watch because it really does wear well. The look is lovely as per the original design. And the fact that Sergio's offered a couple of different colorways here also brings a nice fresh feel and approach to the hobby itself. So thank you for watching. That's my take on this brand new 38mm Direnzo DRZ04. Feel free to let me know what you think of this new variant. I know a lot of people have been asking for smaller watches, more wearable watches, and this particular one seems to fall in that category just beautifully. So be well, be safe, continue to do your homework when buying watches, and try not to spend too much money because this hobby can really get out of hand really quickly. Thank you for watching.